All right, well, let me explain how to create voice AI agents using Dasha platform and Playground. So you typically want to start with one of the templates that we supply to not to start from the scratch. And this is how a typical template could look like, right? So you have your local kind of file system of your agent. You have your agent settings.json file that has typically all the settings and input parameters like agent name, role, purpose, voice parameters, right? Like voice provider, voice model, voice ID, your persona description, your guardrails, like what the AI must do, must not do, like example of the conversation, few short examples, like the model to use, some custom instructions, etc. And then you have your main.dsl file, which is DSL stands for DashaScript. This is a domain-specific language that we've created for building complicated AI agents. And it looks pretty similar like to JavaScript, although it's not apples to apples. And with that language, well, you have your imports, where you can import one file into the other. You have your input parameters with the keyword input that you pass before the conversation starts to your agent from the outside. You have your output parameters that you can obviously get the results from into your SDK after the conversation ends. And it all starts with the nodes, right? So you have like a start node called root, and node is a concept like a state machine, right, where you can specify different nodes. And this is helpful not for the navigation in the conversation per se. It's more like you can think about it like a workflow engine, and then you could use that to structure your applications, your AI agents in a better way. So, for example, typically, what you want to do here in the start node, so you do some input parameters checking. So you check whether the input parameters supplied, they are valid, right? Then you want to do maybe some database requests, etc., to prepare some data you need for your AI agent. Then you call a function called connect safe, which is our built-in function that actually does the connection. Let's say it connects to audio parties. It has a lot of parameters, like you can specify voice activity detection algorithm, you can specify some behavior, what to do, or like pause in voice or not, for example, to use the cache for speech synthesis or not. There's many settings. Then you have, for example, you can change the language, right, based on the input parameters that you have. You can change the language code, the speaker, the speed, the different options, right, based on these input parameters that you pass. And then you go to the main loop. And basically the majority of the AI agent kind of conversation happens in the loop, where you check for the smart interruption, then you call our answer with GPT function that actually calls an LLM model of your choice with the prompt, current prompt at the moment, and pass also all these parameters optionally, right, that you have in that prompt. And also you can specify all your typical parameters like top P, temperature, like max retries, etc. You can suppress function names in response. You can supply a trailing prompts. It's a lot of options there as well. But that's not the point. The point is like you go into an endless loop. So the user sets something, it goes to an LLM. LLM replies, right? So and then we pass that to the user, right? So we basically send that into audio channel and then translate what the user replied and put this in an LLM and repeat that again, and all that available in real time. Obviously, there's like a load balancing, failovers. You work in the scalability management, etc. So behind the scenes, like there's a lot of what's going on actually to make this happen in real time without degradation. But in a nutshell, it's pretty simple, right? So user sets something, it goes to an LLM generates response, it synthesizes the speech goes to the user, and we continue until kind of we have some trigger that indicates that the conversation has ended or somebody hangs up, right? So that's it in a nutshell. So and then how this Dasha agent works. So basically, it's a Node.js application that uses Dasha SDK for Node.js. And again, it works pretty much this way. So you just use Dasha deploy, and then you deploy all these local files, all these DSL files. You literally deploy those files into our cloud. Then you start the application with the requested concurrency that you need. right? So how many concurrent lines your agent should kind of support. Then you create a conversation, and you pass input parameters, right? So here you can pass an object with all these input parameters, and all these input parameters, they go straight here, right, into your AI agent. Then you execute the conversation. So the conversation starts. You wait until it ends. After the end of the conversation, you will have all the output variables marked with the output keyword, like here, output. So you will have all output variables right in your results.output field in this case, right? And then you stop the application, for example, if it's not running 24 hours, 7 days per week, and you dispose that. So that's pretty simple. So you do the application management and deployment, and starting and receiving and sending these conversations and calls using a Node.js application, and the logic, the prompting, the audio, the interruptions, the turn takings, all that basically relates to the conversation itself is being defined in your kind of DashaScript files. So let us know if you have any questions. Feel free to send us an email at support@dasha.ai, and we'll be happy to help.